come out, it makes sense to have the bracket come out.
We're here with our Toyota Tacoma, about to get started on the seatback MOLLE kit. Right now our seatback MOLLE kits are flying off the shelves. People are using them for their pouches, flashlights, knives, first aid kits, small hand tools, whatever it might be. I've seen a couple of people outfit them with computer holders and make it like a little backseat office for themselves. Some pretty cool stuff going on. Gonna be starting by tearing the seat down, seeing what we're working with on the Tacoma, jump into a 3D scan, and then head inside and just start grinding on the bracketry and making a seatback MOLLE panel kit for the truck. Hoping you guys will stick around and hang out with us for a bit. Alright, so to start by tearing these seats down, so you just gotta push those off and this will pop out. And then when we're doing our initial teardown, nice when these seats have zippers, we're able to take all the fabric up and get a better look at the seat. So we're looking at the seat back, and a couple of things that I like to think about is where the actual structure of the seat is. So we have this nice frame member that's behind this piece of fabric. So we'll pop these clips off to see exactly what's going on behind it. I'm gonna use one of our trim tools. Try to pop this piece of plastic up. Alright, so to get these little plastic clips off, the easiest way is to push from the outside and just use your finger on the inside. And lift it off. Those fall down. Pop this piece of wiring harness off. We're gonna be able to put that clip back in. So I'm seeing a few mounting points that we might be able to grab. I'm definitely liking these two the best. But maybe down here too. Might actually leave these in.
And the further down, the better, right? It's just so it can avoid the zipper.
Yeah. We're gonna have to come down though. Might be a case for using like these two even.
A lowering sort of bracket.
Yeah, bracket that grabs these, comes out and down.
Yeah.
Keep that disconnected for now.
I think these two are fine. And then would you come basically straight down?
Might come straight down.
Well, because of this.
Because of this thing, yeah.
Making sure we capture where the zipper is naturally, because that's definitely where the bracket's going to have to come out. It makes sense to have the bracket come out kind of as low as possible. I think these two holes probably make a lot of sense. Because you can even fit a wrench back here or something.
Yeah, you have so much room once you unzip it. So just finished talking with Matt, have some direction and a couple of ideas of how we're going to sneak a bracket out and around the seat fabric. Have an idea of a couple of the 3D scans that we're going to need. Probably going to do 2 or 3 of those, and we mold them together to give us the full picture. Gonna go inside, get the 3D scanner ready, get the computer ready, and we'll come back out here when we're ready to scan. Have some targets, have some 3D scanning spray, have our calibration pad. I'm gonna calibrate the 3D scanner, lay some of our targets out, and spray the seat back. And we're gonna go ahead and 3D scan so we can use it in SolidWorks to create our new seatback MOLLE panel lower bracket for the Tacoma. Well, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Toyota for using. Oh no, they might be the good ones. No, they might be the bad ones.
Bad plugs or what are they? Fasteners?
The push-in wire tie holders that are really just taped on. Like, they might be the ones that don't agree with me.
Once you finish disassembling the vehicle's wiring,
Right now we're laying some targets down, and the 3D scanner that we use, and I'm fairly sure this is the way a lot of them end up working, is they use these targets and can identify them as individual, like, unique targets and objects. So you'll be able to kind of join two scans together using these targets. So that's why you'll see me place a bunch of them on the floor. So like, this is it's an immovable object and something that won't be changing scan to scan. So if I wanted to combine a few scans, I could always use these targets that I'm placing down near the floor as reference material for the scans to join up. And that's why you'll see me target from the floor up. I'll place all of my targets on this side of things. We'll do a scan like this, and then we'll flip this down and we'll do another scan. And what that'll end up doing for us is create a model where we have a normal seat and a normal configuration along with the frame that's under the seat.
Okay.
So we'll be able to use that in the design process, which is really handy and like an excellent tool for us to have. So this spray stuff, this stuff kind of smells, so sorry. So what the spray does is it adds like this white texture to whatever you spray it on, so the reflective metal that's here wouldn't get picked up on the scanner super well. So we spray anything shiny, and honestly just everything in general. It makes everything matte, which helps this 3D scanner pick it up, and it gives us a more accurate and more defined scan. So as we go and as we scan things, I like to check on our scans, and we can spin them around and see exactly what we're getting and what we're missing. I've been trying to keep my the amount of scans that I get to like 3. So after the third scan, I'll merge the 3 scans together, and I'll take a look at what I have at that point, and if I have everything I need, then we'll obviously be done with this scan and we can move on to the next one. So the next one being it reassembled, but we can also go back and add a 4th or a 5th scan if that's what we determine we're gonna need. If we need more data, thing needs to pick up a lot of data in order to paint you the full picture. So we have our two existing upper brackets that we use for our seatback MOLLE kits here. We're gonna run outside and we're gonna see if one of these might fit. So gonna try our first bracket. Pretty much what we're gonna do is hold it up, make sure that the areas that these post holders are gonna hit are actually gonna work. And so far so good on this bracket. So I'm gonna install this and see what the angle ends up looking like with a panel on there. So Max is pointing out that we're actually rubbing back here, and that's really not good because this is where our rivet tag would normally go. So there's on a blind rivet, there are obviously the back sides of the rivets, which are a little bit sharper. So we can't have that. So Max had mentioned maybe putting a spacer here, and that's something that we could play with. The other option would be to create a new bracket, a new top bracket that's a little bit longer and sticks out a little bit further, but have a couple of ideas and a couple of things that we can play with to maybe alleviate some of that issue.
It's definitely, it's a little close.
Maybe we might have a spacer for that. Let's go check.
Alright, so what did we end up doing?
So we grabbed a whole bunch of washers, and we're gonna add some washers in between the bracket and the actual little post holders that we use. And this is just for prototype's sake. This is not something that we would do.
You're not going to receive 6 washers for each bolt. Don't worry.
So, having some issues because these posts are actually smaller than the posts on the full-size trucks that we support right now. So that's something that we're gonna have to figure out a solution to, whether that's thicker foam, more foam, a different actual CNC post holder type of thing. Something to consider. And measure some posts. So when we see a part that's gonna end up being different for one make and model, we'll come outside, and we're lucky enough to have a few vehicles to test on to see if we can make that part maybe not just fit the Tacoma in this case specifically, but also work for the Maverick, or if we had other makes and models, we could test it on that. So we're out here with a caliper, just going to quickly measure up the diameter on the posts for the headrest and make sure that whatever we make for the Tacoma might also work for the Maverick if the Maverick isn't the same as the other Fords that we already support. This one's bigger than Tacoma.
What's the verdict?
Smaller, but not that much smaller.
Alright.
So
Are we close enough, you think, where we could have like a rubber shim that can be squished a little bit for the one that's bigger?
what I might do is I might 3D print a little spacer that these bolts can just thread through, and that will also give us a little bit more room here to cinch down.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
We'll see how that goes.
Alrighty.
It'll be like a 10-minute 3D print. So we're back in the Tacoma. We have our two 3D printed little spacer parts that we're gonna go and just test fit on the headrest posts with our normal CNC headrest post holders. Gonna throw some screws in and see how she goes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so with those seats being smaller, I think our panel might sit lower. And I think people would rather have, in my head anyways, it makes sense that people would rather have the panel
Adjusted higher on
adjusted higher on the seat because it's a lower truck.
Makes sense.
That's, I mean, that's pretty solid.
That looks sturdy and there's good clearance. Cool.
Good clearance up here now that we raised it up, so like it sits like an inch, 3/4 of an inch higher, but I think this is gonna be on point. Maddie here just got finished up installing the upper bracket for the seat back MOLLE panel for the Tacoma. You guys saw us using the little red spacers. We went ahead and designed an upper bracket that doesn't need any of the spacers to get the proper spacing away from the seat back. In addition, we have a lower bracket. So we're in the production stage now with this kit. You guys should see them in the next little while. We'll see you later. Thanks for hanging out.